In this course, we've been largely examining media, looking at each individual media sector, so that chapters in your textbook explore media such as newspapers, television, radio, and so on. But I think it's also important to look at the way in which there is crossover among these various media sectors and various kinds of cooperation among media outlets in different forms of media. And we see this kind of crossover take place in book publishing, and in particular, the relationship between books on the one hand and visual media like television and film on the other hand. And here there's a reciprocal interactive relationship between books, television, and film. On the one hand, television has played a very influential and powerful role in promoting and marketing particular books or authors of certain books. Oftentimes, talk shows, for instance, will feature interviews with well-known authors or books that are particularly newsworthy or have been recently released. The show where books were especially well promoted was on the old Oprah Winfrey show, where Oprah would occasionally promote and call attention to particular books on her Book of the Month Club that was featured on some editions of her old daily talk show. And the authors that were featured on these editions of her show found that their books that were talked about on the show became very popular, that Oprah created a lot of buzz and attention for particular books, and the audience for the show really took to the book club and would buy copies of featured titles on her show. We also see, though, that books have served as ideas for TV shows and films, and a number of TV shows and movies have been based on particular books. So, for instance, in television, a number of series on pay cable services like HBO and Showtime have been based on books, including Game of Thrones on HBO and Dexter on Showtime. One of my favorite shows, True Blood, on HBO, also originated as a series of books. I think it's also interesting to look at how larger media conglomerates that own media outlets in a variety of media sectors also tend to encourage this crossover between book publishing, TV, and film. And one, I think, example here is Time Warner. We've talked about Time Warner before, but Time Warner is one of the largest media conglomerates with a vast array of media outlets and a range of media, including magazines, book publishers, TV stations, radio stations, cable TV operations, and program services. Well, Time Warner has really fostered collaboration between its interests in book publishing and its properties in television and film. Just to give you one example of this, Time Warner, one of its outlets, one of its subsidiaries, is DC Comics, that publishes a lot of monthly comic books featuring superheroes like Superman and Batman, and it also publishes a number of graphic novels based on its superheroes and other themes and subject matter and topics. Well, Time Warner, of course, also owns a number of film studios like Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers Film Studios. And its film studios have played a very active role in developing films based on DC Comics characters, all right? So that Time Warner's Film Studios has had a very successful series of films based on Batman, and now it's recently released the new Man of Steel film based on Superman. So there's this real synergistic attempt to market the properties of one subsidiary in other media outlets that the media conglomerate owns. Disney has also fostered this collaboration between publishing and its interest in films. Disney has taken advantage of properties associated with Marvel Comics, right? So Disney licensed the use of Marvel comic characters, and so distributed the very successful Avengers movie. And it also has interests in really marketing films based on other Marvel comic characters as well. So again, media conglomerates really help develop this collaboration between book publishing on the one hand and TV and film properties on the other.